Right. So there's a curve only from their high school. Which is the Maryland since us. Yeah, I was talking about 7 weeks ago. She was in corporate, and then we get her out for 3 years. You know, it was in March. Yeah, it's awesome. Right. Now it is amazing. Yeah.
So, yeah.
If one's our. Wow. Yeah. Just be. Yeah.
Another thing,
They might. They might have those first. Yeah. Yeah.
It's good to know, Ivan.
Maybe you should go over it. Good evening. Welcome to Westtown Board of Supervisors regular meeting for Monday, May 18th, 2026. Tonight's meeting is being recorded on Zoom and streamed on YouTube with a slight delay. The township will accept public comments remotely via Zoom only. Remote participants are asked to remain muted except when making public comment. During opportunities for public comment, the chair will first invite public comment from in-person attendees and then will ask for public comment from remote participants. If you would like to make a comment remotely, use the raised hand icon in Zoom and turn your camera on. When the chair calls on you, please unmute yourself and clearly state your name and address for the meeting minutes. And is anyone else recording the meeting tonight? No. Prior to tonight's regular meeting, the board met in executive session to discuss personnel and legal matters. The board also held a workshop prior to tonight's meeting to review the proposed design for paving and lighting enhancements at Oakbourne Park Mansion Core. Oh yeah, I'll do that. 1 second. To discuss potential changes to the township park use policies and to accept public comment. I'm going to call the meeting to order and we'll do the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Do we have a motion to approve the meeting minutes from May 4th, 2026?
Yes, I'll make a motion to approve that. The meeting minutes from May 4th, 2026.
Second. Any comments from the board? None. All in favor? Aye. Aye. Moving along to departmental reports. First up tonight is Parks and Recreation. Mrs. Packard.
Okay, I'll do my part to keep it brief so the poll workers can get in here and set up. So as far as recreation programming, we tried two new things in April. We had the PA Game Commission come out and lead an archery program that was very successful with 28 people attending. And Sue also held the first craft night, which was so popular. We've slated two more for the summer. And participants pay a nominal fee and then they come in and craft together. The existing programs have been going great. We've got racket sports, two sold out pickleball lessons, and we're offering more in the summer, tennis lessons as well. The mahjong classes are incredibly popular and have done, Tom, what you had hoped would happen. We have enough interest there that it has morphed into having an 8-week instruction program. And then there's also a mahjong club that has formed and meets. Our older folks and some not so old are coming out and playing mahjong, and Sue's learning mahjong too. So we've got Puzzle Palooza, story time at the park, has been hugely popular. Talk about things getting out on social media. The first one of the season, it was a beautiful day, and the parking lot, including the back lot, was almost completely full. Sue did a great job pivoting and raising her volume to project to the masses. But it got out on a Chester County Moms group, and we had the cars just kept coming and coming. Parks and Recreation Commission, so the events that they're working on are the summer concert series, which I mentioned last month. We're trying to really ramp up to make more of an evening with food trucks, face painting, lawn games available at each program, in addition to the music. We're gonna lead off with the America 250 celebration with the Lenape Brass on June 24th. We're also in full swing planning for Westtown Day. All the usual entertainment and attractions are pretty much lined up, and we're just working on honing a few activities. We're gonna have a basketball hoop truck this time, instead of last year we tried to get people over to the athletic core to kind of bring it all in, but it's just a little too much, a little too disjointed. So we're gonna bring the basketball to the rest of the programming there. Sue and I also continue to participate in the COG America 250 planning for August 2nd. And that's moving along with, they're going to do the historical timeline in Westchester, and each municipality is in the COG, with the exception of Thornbury, are helping with the event. And we will also have a rooftop viewing party for the drone show that'll culminate the event, and ticket sales from that will hopefully supplement the budget. So that's all I have.
Great.
Any
Any
questions?
questions?
No,
Okay.
Thanks, Pam. Appreciate it.
thank you.
Next up, Treasurer Peter.
Excuse me. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The cash balance in the general fund as of April 30th, 2026 amounted to $9,774,095.17. Our open space fund had a month's end cash account balance of $1,584,842.56. The sewer fund ended the month of April with $2,471,076.54. The refuse fund had a month's end cash account balance of $725,008.34. Our capital projects fund had a month's end cash account balance of $2,037,396.46. Our debt service fund had a month's end cash account balance of $2,335,444.33. Our capital reserve fund ended the month of April with $7,436,292.15. Our liquid fuels fund had a month's end cash account balance of $773,763.77. Our escrow fund ended the month of April with $1,006,629.72, leaving us with reconciled cash account balances in all funds, in all bank accounts of as of April 30th, 2026 of $28,144,549.04. In comparing where we are this year in comparison to last year, each one of our fund total cash is up, other than our refuse fund, which is down about $10,000 over last year. We still have a substantial amount. We have 7.5 months of cash sitting in there. And we do bill and collect quarterly, so this could be a timing thing, but we will keep our eyes on that as the year progresses. All funds appear to be very well invested. The rates that we have, our checking accounts making over 3%, and we go as high in the Univest General Fund Savings Account, which is that big dollar amount, the $6.379 million of 3.82. Rates haven't really moved substantially downward. The only movement was we were at 3.75 on our Pliget accounts. Right now we're at 3.74. Really nothing substantially downward. So it seems like they're locked in a little bit. And lastly, I did receive, Mila and I did receive some capital budgets project information from our Public Works Director, Mr. Gross. So we will shortly schedule a time to get back into that and do some budgeting.
Okay.
So that concludes my report.
Thank you, Peter.
Thank you.
Any questions, Peter? Thank you. Appreciate it. Next up, Fire Marshal, Jerry.
All right, good evening. In April, there were 108 calls for service in Westtown. That brings our year-to-date to 422. 46 were in the Westchester Fire Department District and 44 in the Goshen District. The Westchester Fire Department responded to 17 fire emergencies in Westtown, and Goshen responded to 16. Remaining 75 calls are medical in nature. I've had 2 fire marshal responses in April. I'm getting busier because it's that time of year again for burning complaints. Matter of fact, I went to 2 the other day in the same day. I work with Mila with the emergency operations plan updates and still provide feedback on some development projects.
Any questions?
No questions.
No.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chair. Next up, Planning Commission. Russ?
This week, at the Planning Commission meeting on Wednesday, we will be reviewing 2 zoning hearing board applications. The one will be for the development of a Dunkin' Donuts at the currently unoccupied TD Bank, which is next to the Amish Market. They will be requesting a special exception to permit a coffee shop with a drive-in window. The second zoning hearing board request is from Westtown School. They're in the process of planning a new 23,000-foot dining hall, which has a geothermal heating system and a need for a 2-way road on campus. The only unfortunate part is that they will also be demolishing a building currently used as their business manager office that was built in the 1920s. At our last meeting, the Planning Commission reviewed the recent joint meeting with the board Key items noted were the discussion of the pipeline related ordinances and rewriting of the recently rescinded flexible development procedures. We've also begun preliminary discussion regarding the West Town School Dining Hall. Questions?
No questions?
No questions? No? Thanks, Russ.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Next up, West Town East Goshen Police Department Chief.
Good evening. The police department handled a total of 2,026 calls in April. 924 of those were in Westtown specifically. Year to date, as of April 30th, in Westtown Township, the department's handled 3,729 calls. Some of the calls that officers handled within the month of April included 9 animal complaints, 27 motor vehicle crashes, 5 disturbances, 2 death investigations, 6 domestic disturbances, 10 drug offenses, 16 erratic driver complaints, 11 fraud reports, 7 harassment, 5 mental health incidents, 1 retail theft, 4 simple assaults, 2 theft reports, 19 traffic-related incidents, 6 warrant services, and 17 well-being checks. Officers handled 524 proactive incidents in the month of April, 174 of those being traffic stops in Westtown Township, the remaining being patrol checks, business checks, house checks as such. As always, the breakdown of all the incidents can be found on the Police Commission agenda packet for the month of April on our Crime Watch page. In regards to the 10 drug offenses, that number's a little bit unusually high for the month, 10 in 1 month. 4 of those were to Ruston High School specific that our school resource officer investigated. Another trend that I always seem to tend to report on in a negative fashion is frauds within the townships. They continue to be a trend for our department and around the country, but recently our detective division received a phone call from a special agent with Homeland Security regarding a fraud report our agency took from a victim who lost approximately $12,000 to a scam. Because the officer who took the report and completed the appropriate investigative measures, and he entered the particular case information into the FBI's Internet Crime Complaint Center database, federal investigators were able to combine our report with several similar cases around the country and made arrests connected to a multi-million-dollar fraud operation. Our criminal investigation division is currently working the case, continue to work the case, and reported to us, and criminal charges are pending on our case. I encourage all of our residents to check out the ic3.gov website to learn about protecting themselves from cyber threats and crimes. Last June, the Paul Miller's Law, which makes it illegal to use a handheld cell phone while driving, took effect. If you remember, I reported on that about this time last year. Since last year, there's been a year-long warning period, meaning no citations were given out across the Commonwealth for the violation. But effective June 6th of this year, officers will have the authority to issue traffic citations for the violation going forward. It's a primary offense, which means an officer could pull anybody over if they witness them operating a handheld device while operating their vehicle. The fine's $50 plus court costs. The bill was named after Paul Miller, a Monroe County man who was killed by a driver who was distracted using his cell phone in 2010. And that's all I have.
Thanks, Chief. Any questions?
No questions?
Appreciate it, Chief. Public comment, any public comment for non-agenda items? In-house audience or remote audience? Hearing none? Move along to old business. Thanks, Chief. Have a good night. Authorize advertisement of public hearing number 2 for comprehensive plan amendments. The proposed are amendments to the comprehensive plan, which was last amended in 2022 to provide consistency for proposed amendments to the township official zoning map that are currently under review. The proposed amendments are specifically to Chapter 7, Open Space, Parks, Recreation, and Trails, Chapter 11, Land Use and Housing, several maps, and implementation table. They've been sent to the Chester County Planning Commission, 8 adjacent municipalities, and the Westchester Area School District for review and comment. The next public hearing to consider adoption of the amendments is scheduled for June 15th, 2026. Do we have a motion?
A motion is in order to authorize advertisement of public hearing number 2 to consider amendments to the comprehensive plan.
Second?
Any comments from the board? Any comments from the in-house audience? Looks like we have someone with their hand raised on their remote audience. Anthony, go ahead.
Yes, Anthony Simkovich, 821 Kimberly Lane in Westchester. I'm back to the item from a couple of meetings ago, page 58 on the properties around Crebley. And it looks like there was an adjustment made for the different language. How is this different than the last iteration from about a month ago?
So right now, so Amelia, do you want to jump in on this? Because I think that's not
Yep, so.
where we're at.
Yeah, there were no changes made from the last time that those amendments have been presented. It is the same language that was presented at the previous meeting.
So does that mean that there's going to be, I'll say, more specificity to it? Because currently it still seems vague in terms of specific properties or sections of the of properties. What
We are
once you
not
say
plan-
once you use the words along Route 202, that implies a stretch of properties across a group. And I thought we were gonna like modify it by, calling out like the Darlington Inn, which would be rezoned to commercial.
So Tony, what's on the board what's on the agenda for right now is just a motion to authorize the advertisement of the public hearing that's going to occur. So right now, we're not debating what the language is or what's going to be said. We're only authorizing a motion to advertise the public hearing for
So
June 15th. So you'll have an opportunity to comment as much as you want on the language of the comprehensive plan at that meeting. Okay?
and that was the thought. Okay, so June 15th is the meeting where public input could be provided on any changes that are made to it.
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Yep, you got it. Any other public comment related to this item? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Next, we have authorized advertisement of public hearing for township official zoning map amendments. The proposed are amendments to the certain zoning district boundaries depicted on the township official zoning map, which was last amended on July 17, 2017. These amendments include the following changes to the existing boundaries. 1, Craybilly Preserve from AC Agricultural Cluster Residential to T Township District. 2, the 2-acre corner property at Route 926 and 202, known as the Darlington Inn, from AC to C1 Neighborhood and Highway Commercial District. 3, Westminster Presbyterian Church property from AC to R3 Residence of Office District. 4, Marketplace at Westtown property from AC to C1 Neighborhood and Highway Commercial District. And 5, portion of township-owned property located between Wilmington Pike and Old Wilmington Pike from AC to T District. The Chester County Planning Commission has reviewed the proposed amendments and issued a recommendation letter. The Westtown Township Planning Commission recommended approval of the proposed zoning changes for the Craybilly Preserve and Westminster Presbyterian Church properties. The commission also recommended that the board retain ownership of the Darlington Inn property. However, should the board decide to sell the property, the commission recommended approval of the proposed rezoning to the C1 district, subject to the condition that a facade easement be placed on the building. The public hearing to consider adoption of the amendments is scheduled for June 15th, 2026. Do we have a motion?
A motion is in order to authorize advertisement of the public hearing to consider amendments to the township official zoning map.
Second?
Any comments from the board? Any comments from the in-house audience or remote audience? Anthony?
Yes, I'm back again. Tony Simkovich, 821 Kimberly Lane in Westchester. A question on sections 1 and section 5. It says that they would be rezoned to C-1 neighborhood district. I'm assuming the C stands for commercial.
Correct.
Are there any other categories of zoning beyond C1 that involve commercial?
Yes, there is also C2, and there are some commercial uses that permitted in some other zoning district like MU.
Great, thank you.
Sure.
Okay. Any other comments? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
On to new business. Item 1, consider approval of preliminary/final subdivision plan for a lot line change at 919 and 923 South Concord Road. The applicant, Edmund Trevisani III calls for a lot line change between two adjacent residential properties that he owns that results in the conveyance of a 38,573 square foot or 0.89 acre portion of one property at 919 South Concord Road. UPI 67-4-86 used as a rental to adjoining parcel at 923 Concord Road, UPI 67-4-85 used as a primary residence. The subject properties are located in the R2 residential zoning district on the eastern side of South Concord Road. The property of 2.1 acres is improved with a single-family detached dwelling serviced by on-site septic system and public water. The property of 2.3 acres is improved with a single-family detached dwelling, swimming pool, and 2 sheds, and is serviced by on-site septic system and a private well. No development activity is proposed as part of the current plan submission. The Chester County Planning Commission has reviewed the application pursuant to Act 247 and issued a review letter. This application has also been reviewed by the township engineer. The Planning Commission reviewed the application at their meetings on February 18th and April 22nd, 2026, and recommended approval. Subject to compliance with the comments contained in the township consultant's review letters and the revisions discussed by the PC during the meeting, specifically revisions to the legal descriptions, adding the point of beginning on the plans, accurate depiction and labeling of legal and ultimate right-of-way on the plans, and correction to acreages for each lot. Do we have a motion?
A motion is in order to approve the lot line change at 919 and 923 South Concord Road, subject to addressing comments in the township consultant's letters and the planning commission's recommendations.
Second.
Any comment from the board? Any comment from the audience? Any comment from the remote audience?
So we have an applicant here
Yep.
to present.
Did you want to talk about your application?
Yeah, so the comments that we got from Cedarville Engineering Group.
Yep.
We have got a letter back on Friday, May 15th, that we have satisfied all their comments with the point of beginning for the legals, and we have it on the plan.
Okay.
And the planning commission was asking us to add the legal right-of-way, which we have to the plan, and the ultimate right-of-way. And we use our calculations from the ultimate to make sure that the lots will comply in the future if the ultimate is used along South Concord Road.
Do you have a copy of the letter that you got, or does Bela have that?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Yeah, so the main concern with the planning commission recommendation had to do to ensure that the lot meets the minimum lot size requirements. So you have to factor in what's the right-of-way size is. So I see that the applicant added the ultimate right-of-way and the right-of-way on the plan, and recalculated the lot sizes based on that. And we in receipt of a clean CEG letter of Friday.
Okay.
Yep, that those comments have been addressed.
Any other outstanding items, or were you good to go?
No, so the next step would be for the applicant, before the plan is recorded, we would need copies of the plan to be signed by the Board of Supervisors before they can go to the deeds office.
Okay. Anything else that we need, Mela? Are we good?
Nope.
Okay, great. All in favor? Aye. Thank you. Next, we have authorized advertisement of public meeting regarding proposed Verizon franchise agreement. On January 3rd, 2024, the township engaged the services of the Cohen Law Group to assist in a franchise fee audit and cable franchise renewal negotiations with Verizon. This engagement was made pursuant to the proposal to perform cable franchise renewal services submitted to the Chester County Consortium on November 30th, 2023. The current franchise agreement expires on July 6th, 2026. The video service industry is more competitive today than it was during the last negotiations with Verizon 5 years ago. The primary source of the competition and a major threat to the cable industry is the continued use of video streaming services such as Netflix, Hulu, and Disney+. I think you forgot YouTube, which my kids watch constantly. Current law does not permit municipalities to franchise streaming service companies. The secondary reason is that recent federal funding for broadband expansion has also increased cable competition in Pennsylvania. Highlights of this new 5-year agreement include the following. Same franchise fee of up to 5% of the cable operator's quote gross revenue. Expansion of the definition of quote gross revenue to include 5 additional sources Authorization to conduct an audit of Verizon to ensure the accurate payment of franchise fees. Higher interest in addition to any underpayments, clarification that Verizon must provide free cable service to municipal facilities, schools, and public libraries, and a new 12-month notice to the township prior to any termination. Enclosed within our materials are the executive summary, agreement, and ordinance for consideration. Public meeting to consider adoption of the ordinance pertaining to this new Verizon franchise agreement is scheduled for June 15th, 2026. Do we have a motion?
A motion is in order to authorize advertisement for public meetings scheduled for June 15th, 2026, to consider adoption of ordinance 2026-4 pertaining to Verizon franchise agreement.
Second.
Any comment from the board? Any comment from the in-house audience or the remote audience? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Third item, authorized advertisement of 2026 road program, South Concord Road and Cider Knoll Way. Cedarville Engineering has prepared the plans for improvements to South Concord Road and Cider Knoll Way. The work for South Concord Road, beginning at Street Road and ending on Westbourne Road, will include a water box and sanitary box adjustments where necessary, along with pavement markings. In addition, paving wedge transitions to existing inlets will be added, along with asphalt rolled curbage. A portion of the northern part of the road on the east side will also be widened slightly to aid in drainage. The work for Cedar Knoll Way, beginning at Walnut Hill Road and ending at Ponds Edge Road, will include sanitary manhole frame and cover replacements of select aging assemblies. The estimated cost for this project is $519,971, which includes a 5% contingency and a 3% escalation. Do we have a motion?
A motion is in order to authorize the advertisement for the 2026 road program for improvements to South Concord Road and Cider Knoll Way.
Second.
Any comments from the board? Any comments from the in-house audience or the remote audience? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. That brings us to announcements. The Board of Supervisors vacancy. Township is currently accepting applications for a vacancy on the Board of Supervisors. This is an important public service role responsible for setting policy, overseeing township operations, and making decisions that guide the long-term planning and development of the community. Candidates must be registered voters and residents of the township for at least the past year as required by applicable law. The appointed individual will serve through the first Monday in 2028. Interested candidates should submit a letter of interest and resume outlining relevant experience and qualifications to the township office. Attention to the Board of Supervisors or via email at jnaraki@westtown.org or tfoster@westtown.org. Applications must be received by June 1st, 2026 by 4:30 p.m. The second one, announcement, Environmental Advisory Council vacancy. The township is seeking interested candidates for the appointment to the EAC. Residents with an interest in environmental issues and sustainability are encouraged to apply. For more information, visit the EAC webpage or contact the township manager. There are 2 events upcoming in the Oakbourne Park. There's story time in Oakbourne Park on Mondays at 10:30 a.m. And there is the Storybook Adventure Hike, which is on Tuesday, May 19th at 11 a.m. I'm told there was a great cleanup effort that occurred on Sunday, May 17th at 6:30 a.m. Ms. Naraki participated, did a great job. Thank you for that. There's an office closure. The township office will be closed for Memorial Day on Monday, May 25th, which brings us to public comment, all topics. Any public comment?
Hi, Bill McElhill, 1543 Carmack Road. I have a question for you, Mr. Naraki. How does the township plan to incorporate resident participation and engagement with the selection of a new supervisor? How does the township plan to incorporate resident participation and engagement with the selection of a new supervisor?
Well, I mean, if people have ideas of what they want, they should let us know. I think that would be a great idea. But basically what's going to happen is we receive the applications and then we take a look at them and we interview everybody. And then Tom and I need to make a decision. But if you have something that you want me to look at specifically, send me an email.
I would like resident participation in that process of interviewing the people.
Okay.
So there is some say.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Any other public comment? All topics. Tony?
Hey, folks, can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. It's kind of is a related question. On page 5 of the Chester County Planning Commission's comments on, and it's the last page on future development considerations regarding Westminster Presbyterian Church. They suggest or recommend preparation of a traffic impact study. I'm assuming that's prospective and will only be done if Westminster decides to move ahead with their housing, future attainable housing plan. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct. That would be required during the process. They can choose to complete the study before submitting an application or during the land development process.
But we're still going to go ahead with doing the um, enhancements to West Pleasant Grove Road as part of this year's budget or next year's budget, I think.
Correct. West Pleasant Grove Road has physical constraint and utilities constraint. So it's long overdue for maintenance, for annual maintenance. So we will go ahead with making those improvements because nobody knows how many years would pass by before we see a proposal from Westminster Presbyterian Church for attainable housing. It might take some time.
Correct. Thank you.
Sure.
Any other public comment? Hearing none, that brings us to payment. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Pat.
Pat McDonough, 7 Oakbourne Road, Westchester. I just wanted to, the stuff that was posted online here, I did notice that the Westtown Comprehensive Plan, one of the changes was consider incentive provisions to encourage mixed-use development and specifically viable adaptive reuse of historic buildings and non-residential purposes. I imagine that's probably geared towards some of the historic structures in the township, which I think is great. I think that's awesome. And one thing I noticed in the proposed new ordinance, it does say to rezone the property located at the northwest corner of 926 and 202, known as 1 West Street Road, Westtown Township, being number and changing from agricultural cluster residential to District 1 neighborhood district. I think that might be mislabeled, or I think we need to add, based on the township zoning, it says C1 neighborhood and highway commercial district. So I think we should amend that to show that it's a highway commercial district as including a neighborhood district. Because I think that's a key element in knowing that that property, the Darlington Inn, is being looked at as probably changing to a commercial property.
Well, being zoned as a commercial property.
Zone
Yeah.
commercial.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Well, it'll be zoned as C1,
C1. Yeah.
which is
Yeah.
residential or commercial.
Correct. Yeah, and it's just labeled as C1 neighborhood district.
Yeah.
So I think we should match what's in the zoning.
It's probably a typo,
Or,
but yeah.
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 You gotcha.
And then the other thing is in the Chester County Planning Commission's review of the ordinance, the one thing they recommended, which is the township should continue their ongoing efforts for the preservation and adaptive reuse of the Darlington Inn, otherwise Westtown Inn. If this parcel is to be sold, then the township should consider putting safeguards in place. For instance, a historic preservation easement to protect Westtown Inn from demolition or remodeling, quote, quote. And then they linked they provided a link to adaptive reuses recommendations that they provide in the commission, which is great because it shows all the different benefits that historic preservation, particularly saving this building, will bring to the township, including, cost savings, smart growth, increased property values, tax advantages, all the sort of advantages of adaptive reuse and preservation. So I just wanted to point that out in the Chester County Planning Commission's recommendations for the ordinance. And back onto that mention, the Historic Commission is still trying to get that building scanned, laser scanned, and get it. One of the conditions that was been proposed, or what had been asked of us to do, is scan the Oakbourne Mansion first. And so we provided two proposals to Mila. She came back with some revisions, basically asking that all information that's garnered through that laser scanning is township property, and therefore any use of that information will have to go through the township. So we did update the proposal, so I'll give you copies of Oakhorn Mansion
Thank you.
updated proposals. And please make note that the services are still free to the township. And then, so that was one of the conditions to do Oakbourne Mansion prior to doing the Darlington Inn. So we've got that proposal in front of you to scan the Oakbourne Mansion and get that done ASAP so that we can then move on to the Darlington Inn. So to that point, we also updated the proposal for the Darlington Inn to show the same information that township, anything done on the Darlington Inn is township owned, and any information that's shared has to go through the approval process of the township. So here's a copy of the proposal for the Darlington Inn.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Have you previously presented this proposal to Mila?
Yes, I have. Correct.
Right.
Yep. And so the reason for the commission's push to get both buildings scanned, one, Oakbourne is a great mansion, and we're having a lecture there on June 13th. So we'd like to get that scanned so we can actually present the scanning to the people who are attending the lecture and can therefore see the second floor and third floor spaces. Otherwise they would, because they don't otherwise have access to that. So that was kind of an advantage of scanning the Oakbourne Mansion. And also it gives, the township a history and a scanning of the property. So to that point, and noticing that we're now going to talk about changing the ordinance to rezone Darlington into a commercial property, we're pushing to get that scanned as well. Knowing, I think initially it was, we weren't allowed to scan it because we didn't own it. We weren't allowed to scan it because PennDOT had construction. We weren't allowed to scan it because the Oakbourne Mansion takes precedence. We weren't allowed to scan it because Oakbourne Mansion's not done. So we're trying to go over these hurdles to essentially the ultimate goal is to scan the Darlington Inn before it gets rezoned commercial property so that we can, as the Chester County Planning Commission is recommending, we can look at ways to adaptive reuse that building prior to rezoning it a commercial property.
Okay. Thanks, Pat.
Thank you.
Any other public comment on all topics?
I think Anthony Simkovich has hand raised again.
Hey, folks, I forgot to ask this before, but back on the ordinance listing, section 4 and section 5, what areas are they?
Are you asking about which properties?
Yeah.
Yeah, so there are tiny properties between Old Wilmington Pike and Wilmington Pike. They are completely located within PennDOT's right-of-way. The southern portion closer to Darlington Inn, actually a part of the shopping center across the street. And the northern portion has been owned by the township for quite a long time, since Old Wilmington Pike was a road. So those little parcels were zoned AC as well. And because AC is going away in that specific area, we would have to rezone those tiny parcels as well. But they are not really developable because they're too small.
And that is, excuse me, and that's what's referred to in section 5, where it's referenced as commercial, would be that tiny plot
Correct.
of land.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yes, and it's actually,
I was going to say,
Yeah,
so
it's
both sections 4 and 5 are south of Westminster.
Yes.
it's close. Yeah, it's where Darlington is, on 926 and 202. Yeah.
Right. One other related question. Is anything going to change zoning wise where the old Abbey Green was and the Westtown Meat Market? I think that's already zoned commercial.
It's already zoned commercial and there are no plans to change in zoning for that property.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Sure.
One more comment. Separate from Pat McDonough, Westchester, Oakbourne, 7 Oakbourne Road. Has anyone checked on the new development, the assisted living building being built there on the corner of 202 and Oakbourne? Have anybody checked the height of that structure? The new assisted living complex over on, is that in West Goshen?
Yeah.
Township, so,
Explain.
yeah, so they have different, I think they have higher
Okay.
height than we do.
Yeah, I think our restriction is 38 feet and
Okay, correct.
well above 38 feet.
Yes, correct. Yep.
Yep. Duke. All right. Hearing no other public comment, that brings us to payment of the bills. Do we have a motion?
A motion is in order to approve the general funds bills in the amount of $447,069.39. Enterprise fund bills of $16,254.48. Pliget P card bills of $156,806.35. PGPS Pliget capital project fund bills of $10,148.70. And capital project bills of $2,869.40 for a grand total of $633,148.32.
Second?
Any comment from the board? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Do we have a motion to adjourn?